Today's SUVs cost more than ever, yet they're engineered to last 3 years, not 10. We're counting down 8 ways automakers are quietly gutting durability while charging you premium prices. From profit-driven design choices to cheap components that can total an engine, each entry gets worse for your wallet. The number one culprit is probably under your hood right now. Let's start at number 8. 8th place goes to the business model that shapes nearly every new SUV you see: showroom-first design and lease cycle economics. Around 30% of new SUVs leave the lot on a 3-year lease, not a long-term loan. That short window sets the tone for everything that follows. Automakers chase a 12% increase in parts per vehicle, not by making SUVs tougher, but by stuffing them with more electronic modules and sealed assemblies that look impressive on day one. The payoff? Dealer service departments rake in an extra $150 million to $250 million a year as these vehicles roll back in for repairs just after the lease ends. For buyers, this means paying more for vehicles engineered to shine for 3 years, then quietly rack up expensive failures after the warranty runs out. Why invest in long-term durability when the profit is in the quick turnover? This is the hidden math behind why so many modern SUVs feel cheap beneath the surface, even as the sticker price climbs. Number 7 exposes a trick that hides in plain sight: platform consolidation and badge engineering. Walk onto any dealership lot and the flood of SUV choices looks endless: Chevy, GMC, Buick, even Cadillac. But underneath, most share the same basic frame, engine, and electronics. Take General Motors' VSSF platform. That single architecture supports the Chevrolet Blazer, GMC Acadia, and Cadillac XT5, with over 60% of parts, right down to the wiring harnesses and electronic control units, being identical. Volkswagen's MQB A2 platform underpins everything from the Tiguan to the Audi Q5. Even Toyota and Lexus now use a common underbody and suspension for models that claim to be worlds apart. The illusion of choice lets automakers charge luxury prices for what are essentially cloned vehicles, all built with the same cost-cutting materials and fragile components. So when turbocharger failures, continuously variable transmission complaints, or cracked plastic coolant parts start showing up, it does not matter which badge is on the grille. The weak links are baked in across the board. For buyers, this means paying more for a supposed upgrade, only to get the same underlying problems dressed up in a different suit. Number 6 pulls back the curtain on so-called premium interiors and the real story behind those soft-touch dashboards and stitched seats. On the surface, today's SUVs promise upscale cabins with faux leather, brushed metal accents, and seamless flowing center consoles. But dig deeper, and the illusion falls apart. Manufacturers have swapped out sturdy, fabric-backed plastics and genuine leather for thin, polymer-filled panels and synthetic leather that starts to crack and fade within just a few years. It's not just about looks. These cost-saving materials are fragile, especially under sunlight and daily use. Data shows 7.6 incidents of seat cracking per 10,000 vehicle years in late-model SUVs, more than triple the rate in older models. And when a dash or console panel cracks or peels, you can't just swap a small piece. The integrated design means a minor blemish can force a full panel replacement, averaging $1,300 for parts and labor. That's the hidden price of a premium look built for the lease cycle, not for a decade of real-world use. Number 5 puts the spotlight on touchscreen-first interiors, a design choice that looks futuristic in the showroom but quickly turns into a headache for owners. Automakers have stripped away physical knobs and switches, betting that a single glossy screen will wow buyers and cut production costs. And it works. 68% of SUV shoppers now say tech features are a top priority. But what happens when that screen freezes or fails? Suddenly, you lose not just navigation or music, but climate control, defrost, and even basic audio, all tied to one fragile piece of glass. Reports across owner forums describe everything from random blackouts to full system lockups, leaving drivers helpless until a dealer can replace the entire head unit. Unlike older SUV models, where a broken fan switch costs $20 to fix, A dead touchscreen often means a bill of $1,200 or more and days without your car. One glitch, and your entire cabin goes dark. It is a gamble on style over substance, one that leaves owners paying the price long after the wow factor fades. Number 4 shines a harsh light on the repairability trap hiding in almost every new SUV, sealed modules, and the industry's push for full unit replacements. What used to be a $50 sensor swap or a $90 HVAC knob fix now balloons into a $1,200 or even $2,000 repair bill, all because manufacturers design these modules to be sealed, non-serviceable units. General Motors Service Bulletin 2301A tells dealers not to open the transmission valve body, instead replace the entire module. Ford Service Bulletin 18E112 does the same for HVAC controls. If there is a glitch, swap the whole electronic head, not the $15 temperature sensor inside. These are not rare exceptions. They are the new normal. Sealed modules cost 2 to 3 times more than the sum of their parts, and the labor to remove and recalibrate them adds hundreds to every invoice. Owners get no choice but to pay for a whole new assembly, even when a single chip or relay fails. The result? A minor electronics hiccup turns into a $1,000 headache, and the cycle repeats across climate control, transmissions, and even power steering. This is not about safety or progress. It is a deliberate design to maximize parts sales and keep repairs locked inside the dealership network. When a simple fix becomes an expensive module swap, it is clear who benefits, and it is not the owner. Coming to the top 3, electronics, sensors, and over-the-air software are now the silent killers of SUV reliability. It's not just about a screen freezing up or a backup camera glitching. One failed sensor can knock out your entire safety suite, from lane keeping to automatic braking. The numbers tell the story. For every 10,000 vehicle years, there are 4.3 complaints tied to sensor faults in late-model SUVs. Each recalibration at the dealer runs $250 to $400, and that is just if the sensor can be saved. If the radar or camera module itself is toast, expect a bill between $700 and $1,000. When infotainment systems lock up, whether from a bad update or a software bug, owners report repair costs from $650 for a simple reflash, all the way to $1,200 for a full replacement. These are not rare incidents. NHTSA data shows a rising tide of complaints, and owner forums are packed with stories of entire dashboards going dark after a routine update. Unlike the old days, you cannot just swap a $25 switch. Now, a single glitch can sideline your SUV and empty your wallet. The real kicker is this. These failures often arrive right after the warranty ends, leaving owners with safety systems offline and a repair bill that rivals engine work. This is the price of chasing high-tech features and cost savings at the expense of long-term durability. In second place, plastic cooling components stand as silent saboteurs under the hood of modern SUVs. What looks like a simple plastic reservoir or thermostat housing can become a ticking time bomb for your engine and your wallet. These parts, once made from sturdy aluminum or steel, are now molded from cost-cutting polymers that just do not hold up to years of heat and pressure. It starts small, a hairline crack in a coolant tank or a brittle thermostat housing, often hidden out of sight until the dashboard throws a low coolant warning. By then, coolant can leak out in minutes, leaving the engine to overheat with little warning. The numbers paint a grim picture. The 2021 Kia Sorento logged 6.5 NHTSA complaints per 10,000 vehicle years for reservoir failures, triple the rate of its older metal-equipped predecessor. Once that plastic part fails, the repair is rarely simple. Labor guides list 4.5 hours to swap a cracked reservoir, since it is often buried behind other modules. That is a $1,200 bill for labor alone, plus another $350 for the part. And if you are unlucky, a sudden coolant loss can warp the cylinder head or blow a head gasket, totaling the engine in one catastrophic event. Why do manufacturers keep using these fragile plastics? Because they shave dollars off the build cost and a few pounds off the curb weight, just enough to meet fuel economy targets. But for owners, It is a gamble, a cheap plastic part that can quietly turn a reliable SUV into a write-off, all to save a few bucks at the factory. And finally, in first place, nothing hits sport utility vehicle owners harder than downsized turbocharged engines. On paper, these small turbos promise power and efficiency, exactly what the marketing says you want. But what you actually get is a ticking time bomb under the hood. The numbers tell the real story. The 2020 Toyota Highlander's 2.0-liter turbo logs 8.3 turbo failures per 10,000 vehicle years, compared to just 2.1 for the old 2007 V6. That's nearly 4 times the risk. And it's not just a matter of statistics. When a turbo goes, it's rarely a cheap fix. Warranty repairs average $1,800, but if you're out of warranty, expect to pay around $2,400. Often more if the failure takes out other engine parts. Most failures start with oil seal leaks or turbine blade fatigue, triggered by high boost pressures and relentless heat. Once oil gets past the seals, it's only a matter of time before the whole turbo has to be replaced. And here's the kicker. These engines are designed to pass emissions and fuel economy tests, not to last a decade. Manufacturers know the average lease is up in 3 years. So the real problems show up just after the warranty ends. For buyers, that means paying more for a vehicle that looks advanced but is built to survive the lease cycle, not the long haul. The cost cutting is invisible until the repair bill lands in your lap. Across all 8 failures, one pattern is clear. Mainstream SUVs are engineered to look durable but are built to maximize short-term profit. From fragile engines to unserviceable electronics, the real cost is hidden until you own one. For buyers, showroom shine now means future headaches. Demand better.